5, 4, 3.
I'm Chad Taylor with the Mentor Empire, and you are about to watch Human Connections, Episode 3. Very special guest today, and I mean very special. We have my daughter, McKenna Taylor.
Hi.
How are you, McKenna?
I am good. How are you, Dad?
Well, I did one other podcast today.
Yeah? How did that go?
Yeah, it went really well.
Good.
Remember Noah Lonnie?
I do.
Yeah, Noah Lonnie was here.
Yeah.
She did an excellent job. That was really good.
That's good.
I liked seeing it. So, I've obviously watched the last 18 years of your life,
Yeah.
so I think I have pretty good insight to it. However, since we're on the mentor set, I thought maybe we could go through, just as I did with your mother, and for all of those parents out there. I don't know whether I've done well or not, but people have allowed me to work with their youth as well. So I guess I'm really
I don't think they met your kids.
Yeah,
They might not have let you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm hoping this goes okay, because this could be the beginning of the end. No, I trust in you and believe in you, and I think you're an amazing kid. So for all those things that I don't know, you want to make sure that you don't say things that your friends are going to call you out online, though, right? What's the number one rule in the Taylor household?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. No consequences if it's just the truth, right? Well, there might be consequences, but they're going to be much
It
easier.
ain't as bad.
It ain't as bad, right?
Mhm.
So I probably have a million things I want to say, but I want to start from your perspective, from the time you can start remembering. What are the first things you remember as a kid?
I remember a lot. I remember living in Pahrump.
Okay.
I remember a lot from being out there.
Do you remember riding the motorcycle?
Yeah, my quad was pink. It was adorable.
I put you on that quad and put you in the middle of the desert.
And just let me go.
Yeah, and you pressed that button and you just went until...
And took off.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to chase you down.
Poor parenting move.
I had a helmet on you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I also, my body was still kind of noodle, so.
I'll tell you what, that was the cutest thing ever. You just pressed that button and you were
No
gone.
fear.
Yeah, no fear
No
whatsoever.
fear.
That was fun. So do you remember the house in Pahrump?
Big house.
Yeah, we lived there. That was the house we bought right before the crash. The first house I ever bought and the last house
Which
I
I
ever
just
bought.
learned that you guys owned that. I thought I had no
Really?
idea. I thought Grandma owned it. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was the first house we had bought.
Hmm.
We were moving on up like George and Wheezy. We're gonna
Flip it.
Yeah, we're gonna flip it. And within 30 days, the market tanked 2007. Yeah, that was a hard one. You were just a baby. Bought a house bigger. We bit off more than we could chew.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a rough couple of years.
I think it's still sitting empty.
Yeah, I'm glad you were pretty young. You didn't get to witness a lot of that. A lot of the struggles through that.
I remember more from there than the next house that we lived in, too. Like, I don't remember the little house at all.
Kind of briefly.
T was born, though, so it was like, I don't know.
Remember your sister being born?
Kind of. I had a Polaroid camera. I remember that. Your mom, well, not your mom, but Nene and Grandpa Rod had given me
Right.
a Polaroid, like an old school
Polaroid.
click down Polaroid that the picture popped out. I don't know what happened to that. I need to buy one now.
Right.
Or where those pictures went. Who gave a 4-year-old a camera and said, "Here."
I don't know. That's good stuff. So we're there. So we moved back into Vegas,
Mhm.
right? So we're out there for a while. You've watched and listened to Mom and I's podcast, so you kind of
Yes.
got a little more perspective. Not that you didn't know.
I knew a lot of it, but there
Yeah.
was some stuff that I.
Yeah, we shared this with you. So we're living in, one of my friends had a house here that we were renting, had a great park and stuff. What do you remember about that neighborhood? How was that?
That was my whole childhood.
Yeah?
We were there for 8 years,
Yes.
from 4 to I don't know, almost 12.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up there. One of my best friends I met
Was
right
there as
after
well?
we moved in there. Yeah.
That was one of those neighborhoods in Vegas
Mhm.
where people always ask me, how do you raise daughters in Vegas? Constantly. And I say, you don't raise them in Vegas. You raise them in the suburbs.
In the suburbs,
of Las
hidden away
Vegas.
from everything. Yeah.
Right.
We rode bikes and we hung out with friends every day, and
Pretty enjoyable.
everybody that went to my school lived there, so it was like It was nice.
That was the one traumatic incident you hold against me all the time. I think that was your Lego table house, wasn't it?
It was. Your rage got the best of you.
My rage got the
I have
best
trauma.
of me. When you're a parent,
Preface. I was probably 9, and he came upstairs and he was so angry for no reason. I was probably being a total, I'm not going to
brat,
say, yeah, I was
right?
being a total brat. Picked up my Lego table that Santa gave me. Thank you, Mom. And chucked it out my open bedroom window. Watched that thing shatter all over the driveway. You proud?
There's moments in parenting when you looking back, you say to yourself, "That wasn't my best moment."
Yeah, why did I do it? No, I really don't care. But they're
But you remember it like it was
yeah.
yesterday. I find that very
It
unique.
replays in my head every day. I'm just
Every
kidding.
day. I find it funny that those are the things you remember, right? Like those moments of, I mean, I guess I don't know if it was fear or afraid or anger, like mad at me, like whatever it was, it heightened your senses.
Yeah.
And it stored a memory that you really remember.
Core.
Because there's a lot of things that happen, but me throwing that Lego table out the
Dude,
window.
That was my favorite thing I want one today.
Yeah.
Like, I want one.
Yeah.
But no.
I'll build you a new one.
And then when you guys threw away those 2 disgusting couches that we had, that's a trauma memory too.
You really like those couches?
Dude, we grew up with them. They were like the one thing that stayed in whatever house we were in. Just like grabbed onto it.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you hurt your ankle at that house. Like there's some memories from there.
More than that. I did
Yeah.
a lot of stuff you told me not to do.
Right.
And then I did it.
Yeah, you were a perfect child in my eyes all the way up till now, right?
I still am.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know nothing.
So we're there. I work in Kingman. I would say
No, that wasn't until the next house. That wasn't until we got where we are now, right up there.
Oh, I see why you remember it that way, because I got that gig in Kingman to open a hotel essentially.
And yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, I got it when we were in the house,
I thought
and that's
you-
what allowed us to move to the next house because
Mhm.
it's a pretty good gig.
You are correct.
Yeah.
We spent Valentine's Day up there one year.
Yeah, and then we moved again to keep you. Did we move for your school?
High school.
Keep you in the right high schools.
Yeah.
Best high schools we can, obviously. Do it.
Obviously not. I left. I
Uh,
didn't even finish there.
Did you graduate?
I did.
Did you graduate early?
I did.
All right, good. So, like I said, there's probably not a ton of life, right? There's 18 years and maybe 10 of it's real memorable, and then before that it's childhood. But is there anything for parents that are out there listening right now? I think your mom and I have done a pretty good job. I don't know as a fact because it's still not over. We'll see as you grow. We all think we've done a pretty good job, but our biggest thing was to keep you safe. Number one.
Right.
Right? Keep you away from any sort of trauma if we can, other than me throwing Legos out the table,
Out the table.
out the window. Is there anything that stuck with you as a child that you saw? What are some positives and some negatives? And I'm not shy about it to say, like, what do you remember that was really good, and what do you remember that you like wish could have been different? If you were talking to parents out there who have 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds.
The honesty is a big thing, right? You and Mom never really, as much as people might hate it, you guys never really kept anything from us. Money was always an open conversation. If we wanted something, it was like the Disneyland trip I took that Mom paid for instead of the electric bill. Like,
We struggled there for a minute.
but she told me that afterwards, right? She's like, she let me know, because the next time that I wanted to go, she's like, I did this for you. I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. But yeah, the honesty, when you guys and you guys never really fought, like as a kid. I've seen you bicker at each other, but never like honest to God fight.
Right.
Which I think is very nice, and I know that's really difficult for a lot of people.
Oh, you mean like friends of yours and stuff? Yeah.
Well, myself included. It's hard not to fight with a significant other. It's hard. But you guys were very good at keeping us sheltered from any anger that happened between you two, so I feel like me and T especially has grown up in a house where, like, you two are
There's a
like
lot
the
of
picture
love.
perfect marriage.
That's not a lie. I wouldn't say it's perfect
It's
marriage,
not,
but you're
but-
right. We definitely kept calm.
always.
And that was your mom's biggest thing, is you guys shouldn't feel financials, you shouldn't feel some of these things, we can be honest with you, but as much part, she tried to shelter you and make sure that, you know, we just worked hard, and your mom wasn't lying when she came on and did her set. Like, we've had a good run.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a good run.
You guys
so you find that as a
definitely-
positive.
Yes, you guys are definitely a team to look up to. Because it's inspiring watching you two work with each other, because it's stupid how well it works. It's like you two should not get each other the way that you get each other.
Right.
So
Completely different people.
Yeah, that was always nice. It was never like I was never worried about talking to either one of you about anything in specific. It was kind of always I could tell you both anything.
Yeah, I think as you got older, you stopped talking to us as much as you did when you were younger.
I started doing things I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't.
It's
I
true.
didn't want you to know what I was up to.
Maybe 10 years from now when you come back on here, we can talk about those things. You're 18 now. You're in one piece. You're on your way out the door. And
So what? Now what?
yeah, so what, now what? That's funny. So that's good that those are positives, is, you know, we did our best, you know, the best that we could.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you wish would have been a little bit different as a kid, or maybe would have changed things or affected you in a way that shouldn't have? And I really like having this open, honest conversation, especially with you at this age, right? Because one of the things, as a kid, I used to make up stories. When I remember I'd make stuff up in my head, like how it worked or how it
Right.
happened, and I'd get away with it for so long that it became real to me. It was
Right.
like, this happened, and someone would say, no, it didn't, Chad, right? Like, that's important stuff, is we create our own realities based on what we tell ourselves over and over again. So the open and honest conversation, honesty is always what works best, because it keeps you accountable and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I just say, is there anything that was really, could have been different?
I mean,
I scared you once, I remember that. Remember
yeah, I was a lot older though.
Remember the boat ride? In the storm?
You scared Mom. You didn't. I wasn't losing my mind. I was losing my mind because my mother was losing her mind. I remember that, and it wasn't terrible. But yes, you gave a drunk guy a light in the middle of the lake, and what do you do about it? I'm still sitting here, so it's fine.
Do you remember when I was driving the houseboat out, and you were driving the deck boat?
Oh.
And the storm came up. And you were over to my left, and I was driving the houseboat, and we were trying to get it out to the beach.
Right.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And the waves were large, and Vinny was on the front of the boat with you.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
I remember it was pretty crazy. There were probably 4 or 5 foot swells, and you must have been 14, 15,
Probably,
maybe, something
I think
like that.
that was the last trip, so probably 15
Yeah,
or 16.
that's something that I remember that I always feel pretty bad about, right? I remember you getting off the beach,
Thank God that I made it there. Yeah.
and you walk. I was like, you did amazing. Like, I'm so proud, so impressed, proud daddy. Like I grew up on the lakes, and then you're on the
Right.
lake, and you got my best friend on the boat, and you're bouncing, and you're just driving and handling it, and you get off the beach, and you say, Dad, that was the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I felt so guilty for that so long.
Don't feel guilty. I don't remember it like that.
Oh, thank goodness.
No, like, see, that wasn't one of those moments that, like, is glued in my brain. It was probably, I mean, I remember it being scary, but it wasn't anything. You bail off a boat, and the boat goes down. Like, who cares? You swim, and you're fine, and you, whatever.
Right.
That's not how I remember it. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. I'm glad we can let that one go.
Yeah, you can forget about that one.
Your mom always let us go places together.
I think because she was more scared of being there watching us together. I think
Yeah.
that me and you are very evil twin. And kind of like, if you have an idea, I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then I piggyback off of that, and you're like, okay, let's do it. And it can probably, in the future, get very dangerous.
What's the coffee cup you got me?
That one? Or
Mm-mm.
what?
You got me a coffee cup that said, thanks for treating me like your favorite son or something.
Oh, yeah, I always tell everybody that. The universe didn't give you a boy, so you raised me like a boy. I can tow a trailer, and I can,
Yeah.
I can run razors and do all the things that guys can do, and it's like, my dad wanted a son, so he raised me like his best.
Is that going to come back to bite me? Is that bad?
No,
No, it's
because
alright.
I can change a tire, and half the men my age can't. You
Is
know what I
that-
mean? Like,
Kind of like a tomboy.
yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right. So far, I don't hear anything that's extremely deal breaking. It sounds like we've done a pretty good job. We're hoping. We'll try and keep doing pretty good with your sister, right? A lot of this
She's
is...
gonna get wild.
Yeah, she is. She's a wild kid.
She's too good.
She's your mom, actually. She's extremely intelligent, too.
Yeah, she's too
smart.
good to not have her moment here
Yeah.
coming soon.
You know, in the world, we all think we've done a good job with our kids, and you never really know till it's over. It's The Chinese Farmer. I watched that the other day. Did I send that to you?
Maybe.
Watch The Chinese Farmer. If you subscribe to The Chinese Farmer, I saw it on a TikTok, believe it or not, sitting in my TikTok chair for my hour each night. As we send each other back TikToks, and nobody watches them.
We love you. We don't watch your TikTok.
But you can learn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I could say I became a parent off of TikTok.
No, you cannot.
Yeah. So, where does it go from here for you? So you're 18 years old.
I am alive today.
Yeah, you're alive today. You're 18. You're getting ready to go out into the big bad world. What does that look like?
Continued stress. I don't know. Hopefully something good other than bad. I hope. I don't know. School at some point.
Am I just taking it day by day?
Yeah.
Is that how most of the kids do it these days?
No.
No.
But the energy levels that I have kind of reflect that. Just I woke up today. Let's get through today, and then we can think about tomorrow.
Right.
Because it's so exhausting.
We didn't force college or anything on you. Like, we didn't say you have to or you must. Is that going to come back to bite us, you think? Or you feel pretty confident you're going to make some good decisions?
I want to go.
Okay.
So I know that I'll go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 50-50, because if you would have forced me to go, I would have done it, but then I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now.
Right.
Right? And I mean, everything happens for a reason.
True.
Right? So I graduated early, and I was like, I'm going to go to school, and I'm going to be ahead of everybody, and now I'm in the exact same place as everybody else, and I guess that was the world going, slow down. It's not
True.
your time yet, child. So, I'll go. At some point.
What has mentor meant to you growing up? You've watched this for almost a decade. How's that affected you, or what does that look like? Or
I don't think I ever saw the ugly side of it. I mean, you know, some of the kids that you mentored, I just recently learned a lot of their stories because I was 6 when you first
right.
gathered the gang. It makes you happy, right? And I've known a lot of the kids that you've mentored, and they're all better people than they were, and they appreciate you for that, and they talk very highly about you, which to little old me is like, my dad's a superhero. Like,
I don't hate
you know?
that. I made a little superhero emblem because I wanted
is
to be a
a little
superhero.
It also stands for McKenna, if anybody didn't know. Just
Oh, I didn't connect those
McKenna.
dots.
Mhm.
So did you know that when you were young and I first started doing it, I went, we don't do anything halfway.
Mhm.
We do it all.
Mhm.
And when I first started, I spent so much time doing it. Your mom came to me and she said, hey, Chad, you got to stop spending so much time with these kids in the streets and all this. Like, you got to stop. I said, why? And in her infinite wisdom, she says, your daughters are noticing that you're giving most of your time to a bunch of kids that are either on drugs or having problems. So they're going to go out and do
Don't
drugs.
make me do drugs to get your
to
attention.
get your attention.
Mhm.
That slowed me down. So if anybody's watched me the last 10 years, there was a time there where I slowed and pulled way back because I had to focus on you guys.
She scared you.
Yeah,
She's really good at that.
She scares me a lot.
She's really
I
good.
respect her. Yeah, I respect her. But there was a moment there I was spending a lot of time doing that, and she slowed that down. So thanks for her, because I can't imagine if it was the opposite, and I didn't slow down, and then I was just constantly gone. Like I said, she said I'd be home at night and up in the morning.
Yeah, you were always around. Wherever I needed you, you were there for the
Um,
most part. I mean, as I got older, it was more take care of yourself, kid. You're fine. Like, yeah, I can go get my own food, you know. But you made it to every daddy-daughter dance and
Right.
school activity. Like,
Do you know how hard it is to be a parent?
dude, I can only imagine.
It's not
hard
easy.
taking care of yourself. I'm learning. I can't hardly remember to feed myself and sleep and, like, make sure I drink water. Like, I cannot imagine having 2 little humans
Yeah.
that don't know any of that.
Right. Yeah, parenting's not easy. But one of the most rewarding things ever.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Actually, I do. I believe it's probably the most rewarding. It's been great, and I can't wait to watch where it goes. So the mentoring was always a positive thing to you. It didn't take me away too often, too much. Okay.
No.
That's
If
good.
anything, you brought us along with whatever you were doing. Like, for the most part, if you were here, you know, building the track or whatever the case was, like, we were always around.
Right. All right. Well, that's good. What does it mean to you now that you fully understand it?
It's inspiring because you are so passionate about it. Like, just the other night, after I'd finished doing Mom's podcast, I had watched the other little clips you have on your channel and all that. And, like, I don't remember you. I remember you looking like this. And, like, to see you, little baby Chad, like, pouring your heart and soul into all of it is, like, extremely... It was emotional. I was like, oh. And for it to be going for this long and, like, you know, I just want you to have all the things that you want.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely something that drives me on a daily basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the beginning of it is honesty, integrity. You know, we start with air, water, food, shelter, and love. And what does every question come down to?
Money and love.
Right? Know which conversation you're having first, and then you can have that conversation once you decide.
Yep.
Yeah. And the air, water, food, shelter, and love are the basics to living life, which I've taught you guys.
Yeah.
And you get into morals, values, ethics, hygiene, all the
And
rest
then
of
it
that
gets
stuff.
complicated.
And then it gets complicated. But those are for you to figure out. I think that's also something, hopefully, we're allowing you to do is, at this point, you got to decide on your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of decisions.
I guess we'll see how we did into the future.
Yeah, right. You can look back on this. And
Yeah.
be like,
And also, to that, something I thought about now that I've raised some children, my mother will love this one, and my father. I was a terror. And my fear was always that somehow you're going to turn out, you know, somewhat like me.
oh, I definitely did. Just not half as bad.
Yeah, I just don't know the truth. But I think that some of it is, and the youth that I work with, it's random. I think it's genetic. I think there's a lot of things that go into play. Like you could parent your kids perfectly, but sometimes it just doesn't turn out properly. You could parent them very poorly, and I've seen it turn out really well. So there's a lot of things that go into parenting and raising kids, and I think that you got to do your best, hope for the best, and let it roll from there.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely know, for my parents, I was a for better words, like your mom said, a speeding bullet train.
Yep.
And I don't think that was getting stopped. Right? And I don't think that
too.
a different style of parenting, or I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some pieces in there, but for the most part, 90% of it was just, I think it was probably meant to happen.
Well, the genetic part, you are a terror genetically, so am I.
Yeah.
But the lack of supervision allowed you to get away with being a terror, and nobody
That's true.
putting you in check also probably caused a lot of that. I'm a total terror. But every time that I started doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, you would sit me down and put me in my place, and I would stop doing it.
Right. It's so funny. As a kid, I used to get spanked. Right? Like
So did
that
I.
was the years.
Up until I was like 8.
I was gonna say there was the last time I spanked you. I think I grabbed you by the arm, I spanked you, and I brought your feet off the ground.
Yep.
And I remember that, and I thought, okay, no more spanking. I didn't realize how hard I had spanked you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a parenting moment again when I look back on and go, ooh, ouch. But the intentions
You get
were,
over it.
yeah, the intentions were not to hurt you,
Yeah.
spank you. But as a man, you realize, this is a young kid. That was
Child.
Yeah. And then the only other time I think when I put my hands on you was when you were about 12 or 13 and you were sneaking out and the cops showed up at my
13
door.
years old.
Yeah.
You called them.
Oh,
Y'all
that's right.
called
I
them.
did call the cops.
Yeah,
on you.
and then Mom had to come get me because you were going to rip my head off my shoulders if you went and came and got me.
Yeah, that was probably the last
You
night
called the cops on me. I hold that. Mm-hmm.
I did call the cops on you. I woke up in the middle of the night and you were missing.
I wasn't missing. You knew exactly what I was doing, but you... Missing! You knew exactly what was going on because you're not an idiot.
Yes, I called the cops on my daughter. That's fun. So they showed up. That was the last night. What happened that night, actually? That's funny. after that got over, what did I do with you next?
I wasn't out. You
Like after
you took off my bedroom door.
I did.
You took off my bedroom door.
Okay.
And my phone, my TV off my wall. I mean, like, stripped my life away from me. And then you were like, sit there. That's when I learned how to play solitaire. I'm so serious.
So I feel like there was another lesson that we did. We went for a drive. Can you tell me a little about where I took you?
Yeah.
How that went down? Like, what did that look like?
Go grab a backpack. Okay, Dad. You told me to pack a bag. I could put anything I wanted in it, but it had to be a bag that if I left the house, I had everything that I needed. And then he drove me down to downtown Las Vegas, down Tent City.
Yeah.
All the homeless people, everything terrible. And I started bawling because I'm 13 years old, and my dad is like, get out of the car. Come on, you want to be a grown-up? Take your backpack, get out of the car. You wanna go against everything that I want to say? Then you can do this your own way. But you ain't gonna be given the blessing of where I'm at, because I earned that. You're not earning that. And then you made me leave that packed backpack in my bedroom. And you'd come in and be like, your backpack? Scared the shit out of me.
So it worked.
Oh, yeah.
That was a hard moment for me, right? That was a very hard couple of days. That was probably the hardest. But that was the hardest in parenting. Is those are those moments when, I think that was the moment I realized that almost everything I've taught you was stopped at that point. You weren't going to listen to me anymore. I had to find other people that you would listen to. Right? The father parenting was over, and now you're going to look to someone or aspire to be like somebody else and be parented. But I remember I was hoping that worked, so I'm glad it did. But that was pretty unique. I remember that too.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. It just did. But seeing all of those people out there living that way, some by choice, some not by choice, but regardless, some of them didn't make good choices, which is why they're there. Some of them had some unfortunate events unfold, but most all of that typically comes down to choices. I can't say all of it, but a lot of it choices they make. And I guess what I was trying to prove is that your choices will determine where you end up. So make them good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a fun one. I'm glad you remember it.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right.
Friends thought you were crazy. It was great.
So, you have anything that you want on camera for the rest of your life? Sitting on the mentor set? Anything you want to say to anybody about what mentoring's meant to you in the whole? I'm sure there's other people that have, I'm your father and your mom, but I'm sure there's other people you've looked up to and take, I wouldn't say information, but guidance from in some way.
My goodness. That's a lot.
It's a lot. There's some family around, grandmas and grandpas. They've all been really good to you as well.
Yeah, I feel like really our whole family, mom's parents especially, like, they had the same thing that you guys have, the insane love and the perfect family. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
how lucky it's not the perfect family, I promise you that. But
we're pretty close.
But I'll tell you this, your mom's a saint. And I think the whole world saw that on the podcast. I got more texts came at me. I was like, I just want to hear your wife talk more.
Yeah. She's therapy in a person.
She's therapy.
She's been my therapy.
I think she might actually start her own podcast where she can just talk. I was like, you should talk to mothers with teenage daughters, right? That's challenging. T has some things going on right now, and I watched your mom handling it, and I said to her the other day, I said, has this always been going on like this?
No. It comes in waves.
Right?
As a teenage girl with your mother, you don't get along. Me and mom didn't get along for a really long, we had a couple years.
Yeah.
That we really didn't talk to each other, didn't hang out with each other. Like, now that I am older,
yeah, I'm
grateful for all the stuff that I was so mad at her for.
Right.
Right? But Triss is at that age where she doesn't want to rebel, she just wants to be right. And mom, my dear mommy, she will not.
You were at that age too.
Boy,
it's just it's growing up. Like,
yeah, it's maturing.
There's a saying that there's nothing new under the sun. And when you're working with kids, nothing new under the sun means there's nothing new. It just all changes form and shape in years and decades and millennia. Like, there's nothing new. It's human nature, right? And trying to master it is, I don't know if you can ever master it, but it's the same thing over and over again, and which is why I take a liking to the psychology portion of it and the philosophy. What do I call it?
Philosophy.
That's what you call it, actually.
No.
I know I called it philosophy.
You did. We were in Barnes and Noble.
Brian, you can't listen to that. But philosophy.
We were in Barnes and Noble, and he said,
Oh.
"Girls, I found a book." We were like, "Oh, Dad's reading now. Cool." We were like, "Philosophy," and Mom was rolling on the ground.
Yeah.
She said, "Philosophy."
It's how it's spelled.
Philosophy.
Into my defense, it's how it's
Yeah,
spelled.
you logic-brained human being.
Fair enough.
I'm the same way.
All right, so we're going to embark down this new podcast journey. We're going to have a lot of people on. We're going to tell a lot of stories, hopefully inspire a lot of people. Not get pigeonholed in any one place, but just keep it open and honest and authentic and real. And the fact that I can sit here and have a conversation with you at 18 years old, just so you know, I appreciate you and I love you for that. Like,
You raised me to be able to do it. You raised very
Yeah.
articulate children.
yeah,
Very smart.
they got good genes. Far more intelligent than I ever was. So, keep being you. Keep kicking butt. Very excited and travel the world and have a blast and spread your wings and fly. And I'll just be right here being your dad.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Is that what
I'm
parents
not-
do?
yeah.
They guilt trip their kids
I'm
a little
just
bit?
gonna be right
I'll just be
here.
right here where
Just
you left
missing
me.
you. Boo. You'll be okay. I'm around.
All right, fair enough.
I still live in your house.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
And we love it. We love it. Are you gonna wear mentor clothing?
I don't have any.
Are you gonna wear it if I get it?
Yeah,
All right,
totally.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you.
Put a mentor T-shirt on the Buddha.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll make it happen.
Absolutely. And congratulations on the new job.
Yay.
Kick butt. We won't tell anybody about it. We'll make that another episode. Shh. But doing really well. So appreciate it.
Yeah, this is fun.
Anything else you want to say? Any insight at 18 years old that the world just has to hear?
Yeah, at 18 you can do anything. Everybody just tells you that you can't. And I'm competitive. So I'm going to keep proving people wrong. For me. That might not be the best thing to say, but
I was going to say, as
It
Rod would
works.
say, let me know how that works out for you.
I will. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, no. Power's in the eye of the beholder.
That's right. Manifest destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you can, be kind, be honest.
Yeah.
All right, McKenna Taylor. I won't use your nicknames on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, we don't want to bore people. Let's hope for the best. She's off and running.